Hey everybody, welcome back. This is Miss Faye and this is my world. Okay, before we get started, I want to say welcome to all of the new viewers and all of the new subscribers. I appreciate you so very much. And today we're going to talk about the narcissist father and the scapegoat child. Now, I want to explain the scapegoat. The scapegoat child is chosen by the narcissist because he or she presents some sort of fear, inadequacy, and insecurities in the narcissist. So now the narcissist views the scapegoat child as a problem in the family. This is in the family dynamic. Okay. In the family, the narcissist usually has a golden child and a scapegoat child. All right. The scapegoat child is the child who will suffer the blame for everything, practically everything that happens wrong in the family. Okay. Now, I can speak on this because, unfortunately, I was the scapegoat child. In a family of 5, I was the oldest and probably the most rebellious. Okay? So now, dealing with the narcissist was difficult growing up. I was blamed for everything that happened wrong. And I was blamed so much for things that after a while, whenever I was accused, I just said, yeah. And during those days, it was okay to whip. We call it, because I was from the South, we call it whipping your children. I was whipped a lot and whipped for a lot of things that I did not do. The narcissist gets joy out of this. You understand? Because now the narcissist loves supply. You understand? So if he can get supply out of your misery, he'll go for it. You see? Now, growing up, my dad was the narcissist. Okay? And I never received approval from my dad growing up at all. Not for anything. Not for anything that I did. Now, I suppose that I wasn't the one that boosted the ego of the narcissist. That I think maybe that was the golden child. I was about doing whatever kids do. But whatever I did always seemed to be the wrong thing to do. The wrong thing to do. And this is difficult for a child because children are just children growing up. And if the parent is a narcissist and blames that kid for their own fears and their own issues, it's going to affect that kid growing up. And in a detrimental way. Now, I suffered narcissistic abuse all of my growing up years. Always trying to get approval from my dad. And I did practically everything I could think of. It never happened. Never. And I remember that I would stop going near my dad because every time I even went close to him, he would find some reason to criticize me about something or to embarrass me in front of people or that sort of thing. So I stayed away from him as much as I could as a child. I'm telling you. The scapegoat child suffers deeply from narcissistic abuse. The abuse is so harsh on the scapegoat child, even more so than the other folks in the family. You see? Now, in the family dynamic, the narcissist affects everybody. Everybody from the wife to the other children are affected, but not as harshly as the scapegoat. Because the scapegoat is the one that is blamed for everything that goes wrong. Everything. I remember being snatched up out of my sleep for something that I was accused of doing that I never did. Didn't even know what they were talking about. But again, I had to suffer that and suffer the physical abuse that came with that. That's right. The narcissist will do this. You see, the scapegoat child is chosen by the narcissist because that child triggers the narcissist. Triggers the narcissist's fear, his insecurity, and his inadequacies. You understand? Now, I being the first child, a lot of people said that I was just like my dad. Maybe that's what triggered him. My dad, when he was younger, I understand that he was somewhat very creative and all of that, and so was I growing up. But my dad never supported my creativity. You see, the scapegoat child is the child that probably mirrors the narcissist in a way that it intimidates the narcissist some way. The narcissist wants to attack the scapegoat child. Growing up with the narcissist, I felt unwanted, unlovable. I was, weak, no self-esteem, no self-worth, and all of this came from the narcissistic abuse. You see, because I was the scapegoat. Now, not saying that the narcissist wasn't abused the other children, but the scapegoat gets the worst of it because the narcissist trains the rest of the family not to support the scapegoat. You see, growing up, there were many things that I wanted to do as a child, but I was told, no, you can't do that. No, we won't allow you to do that. And these were things that were enjoyable things to me. For instance, I like to dance, and I was not allowed to join dance groups or anything like that. The narcissist stopped me from doing that. The narcissist would not allow me to go to other kids' birthday parties and things like that. And it wasn't a religious thing. It was just that the narcissist said no, because the narcissist felt like this would damage his image. You understand? Everything was about image for the narcissist. Now, the narcissist was cruel. The narcissist was cruel to me all of his life. See, the narcissist is incapable of change. They've already been changed. You understand? And once you realize what you are dealing with, this evil energy, this evil entity, then you can understand why the narcissist is treating you like this. But as a child, you don't understand. And this affected my growing up years so much because I didn't turn into the narcissist. Some scapegoat children do. They just submit to the demands of the narcissist and learn to become the narcissist because the narcissist puts them through that trauma. You understand? But although I felt weak, I must have been stronger than I thought, because I was able to kind of stave off a lot of that happened to me. And when I got older and I had my children, unfortunately, I don't feel like I was the best parent, because of the narcissistic abuse that I suffered, and that the way that I was raised. Some of that I did with my children. For instance, I probably did not be as present with them as I should have been, because nobody was present with me. You know, nobody went to any of my school functions. My dad, and he was in control, so he was in control of my mother. So if he said no, we're not going. Anything that I did, I was never supported. You know how kids would go and tell their parents what they would like to do in life, and hopefully your parents will support that. Not mine. They were least interested in what I wanted to do in life. All they wanted was for me to hurry up and get old enough and get out of the house. That was the general perspective. You hurry up and get out of the house. You understand? Now, this makes you feel awful, because you know that other children love their parents, and you want to love your parents, but they make it kind of impossible because of the way that you're treated. See, the scapegoat child is growing up in misery, total misery. And for me, it built up as a hatred. I had a hatred, it was like a love-hate relationship with my dad. A love-hate relationship, because I wanted to love my dad. You understand? Little girls want to love their fathers. They want to love them. And then especially when people saying that I'm just like my dad, and my dad doesn't love me, and shows it daily. You understand? This can really destroy a person. It can really destroy a person. And it took me years to heal from that abuse. And I'm going to tell you, because my dad was a narcissist, the man that I fell in love with happened to be a narcissist, because it was familiar. This man did a lot of things that reminded me of my dad. You see, that's why I say it's a love-hate relationship. And it took that narcissist to break me in two. He finished what my dad started. And this is why I say that life is a lesson and a blessing, because it took that last narcissist to kick me into spirituality, where I can find peace and happiness, and to regain my self-esteem and my self-worth. You see, I healed from the narcissistic abuse. And if you have suffered narcissistic abuse, to find your happiness, you must heal. You must heal. But I wanted to explain the scapegoat and what damage it can do to that child's life. That child's life. And I'm going to tell you, I must have triggered my people from a child, because my childhood was not happy. It was not happy because of these issues. with the narcissist and the abuse that came along with it. You see, my father was in control of the family. He was in control of the family. My mother was not all that happy either. How can you be married to a narcissist? You don't understand? The narcissist was constantly putting down my mother, making her feel inadequate. You understand? And doing what narcissists do. So the mother, already, she's groomed to not like the scapegoat either. So the scapegoat gets it from the father, the mother, and all of the other siblings on a constant, daily basis. The scapegoat is the child that's the problem in the family. And on top of that, even extended relatives are being told about the scapegoat. So the scapegoat gets no support from anybody growing up. Anybody growing up. This damages a person. And I would deem to say that a lot of scapegoated children, unless they heal, they either turn into narcissists or they are very weak, gullible people with low self-esteem. That's if they never heal from it. You see, people, because this narcissistic energy is so powerful and so demonic, it destroys the lives of people. It destroys the lives of people. And understand, it's a lot of people out there still don't recognize a narcissist when they are dealing with a narcissist or they're seeing a narcissist. It's a lot of people that don't even know what a narcissist is. You understand? And many times people outside of the family of the narcissist, they don't realize what's going on inside the family. For instance, in my family, when we were out, my father was in a position where he had to present his family. And we were all like picture perfect, like everything was wonderful. Even me as a scapegoat, everything was wonderful. But behind closed doors, everything was hell. Everything was hell, especially for me being the scapegoat. You're just waiting for it to happen. And I would try to hide in my room. That's right, hide in my room. And one of the parents would bust open the door and say, "What, you don't like the family? Why you in here all the time?" Things like that. You understand? So you don't know what to do. You go to the family and you're criticized and beat down or whipped for something, or you try to hide away and they come looking for you. You understand? It's a very detrimental time for a scapegoat child. And unfortunately, some of them grow up thinking, well, this is the way that because their parents are the models. They feel that this is the way you should parent. Now, for my kids, regretfully, I didn't pay as much attention to them as I should have. Number one, I was a single parent. Number two is I had to work, and I was the lone support for them. So I had to work. I couldn't be there all the time. But see, these things these things work on the kid because the kids are kind of neglected. Kind of neglected, you see. But me growing up, I didn't get any support. I was neglected. So I learned this from the narcissist. And unfortunately, I did it to my children. Now, I had to come back after I was spiritual, come back and try to explain those things to them because I hoped that they weren't really damaged by that time, in their lives. But that's all you can do once you heal from it, to go back and try to make amends to your children. You see, nobody in my family came back to try to make amends for me. But after I became spiritual, I realized that that was something that needed to be done. Needed to be done. Now, when my father got ill, he got old, he got ill, and narcissists can go way down, and my dad did. He went way down and ended up living his last days with me, the scapegoat child. Understand? You see how karma takes you back around? This is karma right here. He never thought in his wildest dreams that he would end up with me. But I'm going to tell you, this experience was probably more good for me than for him. My dad, in his very last days, he stopped talking. But when he was talking, he was still a narcissist. When he came to live with me, he was still the narcissist, in charge of everything. But as he got more and more feeble, and I was the one that took care of him, you understand? He stopped talking altogether. But he never made amends to me. But I could see in his facial expressions that something was changing. It's possible that the spirit, that demonic spirit left him after the spirit could not use him anymore. And this is what I think. It totally left him. And my father stopped talking. You see, when the spirit is taken over a person for so long, the person is like in a coma or something. The real person is kind of like in a coma because the spirit is in control. So when the spirit leaves, the person is like not really functional anymore. Not really functional. My dad was just there. And the lesson in it, with me taking care of my dad, allowed me to heal. Allowed me to totally heal from the narcissistic abuse and to forgive my dad. You understand? Forgive my dad. Because when I became spiritual, I could understand what really happened. What really happened. And you see, my dad never talked to me about his childhood. In fact, I never remember my dad talking about his childhood ever. Ever. So I don't know what happened to him as a child. He never talked about it. You see, anything could have happened to him to make him the way that he was. And that's when I became more spiritual. I came to that realization that things happen to people to make them who they are. Who they are. And if they don't understand this energy of who they are, then they just go on with it. They just feel like that's life. That's just the way it is. You know, who knows? Maybe his father was a narcissist, or maybe his father was a narcissist. Who knows? You see, this could be a generational curse. But the scapegoat child has a real opportunity to understand this through healing. Because you got it the worst. You got it the worst. People, I hope you understand this message. And I know I talked about the male narcissist in this video because my father was the narcissist. I didn't grow up with the female narcissist, but I'm pretty sure she does the same thing. You know, she picks out one of the kids that just badge on, because something in that kid triggers her. That's all it is something in that kid that triggers her, and she wants to beat it out. She wants to attack it. That's how my dad was with me. He stopped my growth in a lot of ways. In a lot of ways, he stopped my growth. And it was only until I became spiritual that I started growing in the right direction. To be a better person. To live a better life. You understand? And this is what it's going to take. If you were the scapegoat in your family, you got to heal from it. Or nothing would change for you. To find peace and happiness, you must heal from narcissistic abuse. And I believe I got a video on that. I'll put a link in the bottom. Hopefully that can help you. But don't live your life being bitter. I was a long time. I was bitter a long time. And my life did not progress. It was like a flat line or worse. I suffered poverty. I suffered people taking things from me, people abusing me, and all sorts of mess. Only because of the way that I grew up. You understand? Only because of that. And it probably took me that long to learn the lesson. You understand? Because remember this, people. Every challenge in your life is a lesson. Every challenge. But if you learn the lesson, then you will receive the blessing from that lesson. And your life will get better. And it's only until I understood that my life got better. That my life got better. And forgiveness is a big part of that. Forgiveness. You see, you can't just forget it. Say, I forget it and act like it never happened. But you have to forgive it for your life to get better and better and better. And be careful of the things you say. You see, all of these, I had a lot of negative language because of the narcissist. A lot of negative language. I remember even saying to myself when it was time to date, and some of my relationships didn't work out. In fact, most of them didn't. And I would say to myself, well, how can I really expect a man to love me when my own father didn't? You understand that? Now, your words are powerful. And for me to say that, it put out there that no man was going to love me. I wasn't lovable because I believed it and I said it. Your words are very powerful, and the way you think is very powerful. That's why you must heal from this abuse. You've got to heal from it, or your life will not get better at all. And you can't just go through life just being angry because of it. You have to heal. And healing will give you a new perspective on what happened to you and why it happened. You understand? And you can come out of it a better person than you ever were. People, I hope that you understand this message, which is very important. In a narcissistic household, there's a scapegoat somewhere. Somebody is the scapegoat. And everybody in the family knows, do not support the scapegoat. You understand? So people, I think I'm going to end it here. And I hope that you understand this message. And I really hope that it helps someone. Because I was the scapegoat. It took me years to heal from it. Only because I didn't understand what was really going on. I didn't understand what a narcissist was and the damage that a narcissist can do. But once I understood it, then I began to research information on how to heal from the abuse. And it led me to the path of spirituality. So, people, I thank you again for supporting this channel. And I thank you so much for those comments. I enjoy reading them. I read them every day. And if you have questions, I welcome you to send me a question, and I will be happy to answer it. I want to say thank you for those who leave a donation. It really helps to support the channel. So, again, thank you again, and I hope to see you next time.